hate you both. I've hated you ever since I can remember. I hate you, and I wish you both had cancer. Cancer? Yes, in the head.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
This is the Stupid Answer Show.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Hello there, children.
Hey, kids.
People seem to like me because I am polite and I'm rarely late.
Don't worry, I got an idea.
And now, the host of the Stupid Cancer Show, Matthew Zach.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Because he has a lot of chutzpah.
All right.
Hello and welcome to episode 374 of the Stupid Cancer Show, the voice of young adult cancer. I'm your host, Matthew Zachary, a proud 20-year young adult brain cancer survivor, coming to you now from the chemo deck, our fabulous studio in downtown Manhattan. Broadcasting since 2007, the Stupid Cancer Show is a production of Stupid Cancer, the largest charity comprehensively addressing young adult cancer online at stupidcancer.org.
I'm Kenny Kane, co-founder of Stupid Cancer, welcoming all of our first-time and returning listeners. Never miss an episode by subscribing to the podcast on iTunes and following us on SoundCloud.
It is not okay that 72,000 young adults are diagnosed with cancer each and every year. So, got cancer under 40? Sucks, huh? Well, it's time to get busy living, folks, because the Stupid Cancer Show is changing the world one chemo infusion at a time. On this episode, we are shedding a light on a great nonprofit called Grappling for Life. They provide free training in mixed martial arts to the youth of Lake County, Florida. Founders David and Annie Iturrino join us to discuss how Annie's multiple cancer diagnoses led them to starting this great organization, providing support to others, keep them, quote, staying on the mats. With our special Survivor Spotlight on young adult survivor Kaitlyn Keely and a special in-studio guest, founder of Survivor Glam Squad, the one and only Keely Webster. Going to be a great show. Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Kenny Kane.
How are you?
You are embarking.
I have senioritis.
Yes. You've checked out like 3 days ago.
Yeah, that is actually true.
Just for those listening, this is a company. I am the boss, and we do a vacation policy. And Kenny and Sean have availed themselves numerous times of this. Mallory, have you taken a vacation?
I have never actually taken a vacation.
You really should take a vacation.
My vacation days have gone to weddings.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
but happily, but unfortunately.
Okay.
So eventually I'll take, one of those things and go somewhere.
I just realized now of my 5 employees, Allie's taking vacation. Sean takes his camera to God knows where. Kenny just likes to turn us out of office on whenever he wants to.
I do.
Yeah.
Usually.
And I go nowhere.
And where are you?
Nowhere.
I'm encouraging you. Take May off. Just the whole month.
Good luck with that.
Get busy.
Bye.
Yeah.
I'll be gone the month of May.
Mallory
have fun
has
with that.
left.
No, have a great time wherever you're headed, Kenny. I know JetBlue is enjoying your tweets.
I'm going to Aruba.
Yes, fantastic. I've been there. There's a great restaurant called El Gaucho. It is like the steakhouse of all steakhouses. It's like Churrascara. Remember that place near by here?
Sure.
Just like that. They cut you eat everything. It's crazy.
I'll mention your name at the door.
Yes, tell them Matt sent you. They'll have no idea what I meant.
Beautiful.
Yes, and there's another great restaurant called Papamiento, which is it's in like a mansion that was renovated to be a restaurant, and there's like this giant pool in the backyard, and they have these umbrella tables for 2 or 4 around the pool. It's amazing.
I'm most looking forward to, I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but what they do is they put whiskey into a Parmesan wheel, light the whiskey on fire, and then put the pasta into the Parmesan wheel and spin it around and then put it right on your plate.
All right, you win.
It's quite magical.
I'm just going to shut up now about Aruba. I think you've already sourced it.
It's quite magical.
Cool. Well, we got a great show. Mal, you're okay? Besides not taking a vacation.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm well rested
Good.
without a vacation.
And Sean, are you missing? Where the hell were you? You were in Patagonia, right? You and your camera.
Yeah.
I love that you subtly post photos every now and then. Oh, by the way, I went to this place like a month ago. This very subtle.
You know what? It's pretty similar to your childhood, Matt, where every once in a while you post a picture. I was a child.
Yeah, you do it worse.
No, but you have this.
I didn't say worse.
Oh, quiet. All of you, quiet. My throwback's going to blow you all away on Thursday, so I'll leave it at that. Anyway, welcome to the studio, Keely Webster. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing great.
So nice of you to drop by. What are you doing in town?
I am visiting, trying to get a little bit of a chill. I've been in Florida too long, but I've had enough. Been here for a couple of days.
Well, you're here during the heat wave. It was like 0 or minus 20 on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's definitely heat wave being around freezing today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Great
So
day.
you are the founder of Survivor Glam Squad, which we were made aware of a couple of years ago and brought you guys to OMG 2014 in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And it changed everything for our female attendees. Some of our male attendees, but mostly our female attendees. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what is Survivor Glam Squad?
Well, first of all, let me just say, the rest of the Survivor Glam Squad team are so jealous that I've been invited to New York to the Stupid Cancer headquarters here, and yeah, they're giving me some stick.
That's okay. You've earned it. You've earned the stick.
But we give makeovers, complimentary makeovers to female cancer patients and survivors, and now men. Survivor Man Squad is creeping in the woodworks. And we go around the country at salons and conventions, beauty, areas, and we give the complimentary makeovers with a lot of mostly volunteers.
I remember seeing it was almost like you had like this pop-up salon at the Palms in 2014. And then again this year in Denver, and then coming up now, this April in CancerCon 2016, you'll be there. And I don't think the attendees realize that this is like a side benefit of coming to that. They get to, it's like they don't even know it's possible to feel beautiful when they're going through all this hard, terrible. And this is something so important to quality of life and mental health and self-esteem. And just literally holding your head up high and saying, I can do this, I'm strong. So how did this even come about? Like, where in your life did you say, I'm going to do this now?
Well, a lot of people are puzzled by that because I have never had any interaction really with cancer. I've never had a diagnosis. I don't know how it feels to be told to.
That's a good thing.
And it's something that I came out of the beauty industry in like it's a brutal, very contending with others in the beauty industry. And just to sit in the chair, though, and have somebody do your makeup, do your hair, completely transform you, it gives you power. You feel powerful, and you're able to go out and do the job and just feel inside. It brings whatever you've got inside out. And I thought to myself, how do I get this to people that actually need it? And we set up an event one day, and I didn't really think much of it. And
this is in Europe?
No,
Here
this
in the
was
States?
in the first event here. It changed my entire career path, seeing what came about that day. And I've had to do it since. Every event's got to be bigger and better. So we're so very grateful to be a part of CancerCon, Stupid Cancer, and to be able to do as many makeovers as we can at that event.
Yeah, like I said, the feedback was only positive. I go back to this. I like to say that people don't give people what they want, give them what they don't know they need. And they don't know it's possible to need a makeover for free.
Right.
All because you got cancer.
Right.
And like no one asked to get sick, but what a great way. What a truly great way. Do you get, I can only imagine the feedback that you've gotten over the years from the women that you help.
It's not just, a lot of women they realize afterwards, but it's not just about a contour and a little bit of blush. Once they see themselves afterwards, transforming, it just brings an energy out. and then, it transforms them into something, as well as the educational side of it, showing them how to be pretty again, in the mirror, their version of that.
Right.
And it helps tremendously with overcoming, or even after, when the doctors said you're all good, you're ready to go. A lot of women are like, well what now? How do my skin's different, my hair's different.
Right.
And we're there to teach and to show you how, you can go about that and with whatever, you've got to deal with now.
You mentioned that there were a lot of people jealous that you're sitting here in the studio. Do you want to give a shout out to some of your team?
I do. Lisa Amorosi, and we have Kimberly Atwood, that were both there at the event last year, and we have two other gals that are quite jealous. Joanna and I think
it's like the
Joanna.
Emmys, like who you are.
Yeah. That's right.
Very nice. So tell us more about how often do you guys, as a group, go out there and do these events?
We have a great event going on in Evansville around the same time in April, and that's benefiting one of the women that we have in our book, 105 Reasons to Smile.
Yeah, I want to talk about the book too.
Yeah, and that event up there is a nice little fundraiser. It's all in honor of Julie Stallings, who unfortunately passed away last year, but she came to an event we did in Nashville in 2013, which really changed her whole outlook. She was actually a hairdresser, so she in the industry, and she came for a makeover that changed everything for her, and she was our biggest advocate, after that event. But with the book that we've developed, it's very inspirational to those new, and that have been diagnosed recently, to know that they're not alone. There's many other women in the book that can testify to and give strength. It's like a life quote that they're asked to give, and it's very, very empowering.
And for those listening, I was given a sneak peek at the book just before we went on the air, and it's wonderful. Let me ask you, why black and white photos?
That's something that our volunteer photographer would like to, he's kind of like the artistic, he likes the cut off of the face,
yes,
and really zooming into the smile. That's what it's all about, the facial
right,
features, and this smile is the thing that we was really trying to get out of that, because
and each page is a woman, and
yeah,
like a close up in black and white at the top, I guess half,
mm-hmm,
and the bottom half was just white,
mm-hmm,
with some basic information about her name, her diagnosis, is she still in treatment, just so people know, oh my God, there's someone else out there that I can look in their eyes and know that could be me, or that is me, or I'm glad that there's someone like me.
Yes, it's very much like that, and it just really gives others a little boost. I've watched women flick through it and just come alive, and it's just, I can't put it really into words of how it affects and what it does for women. Yeah.
So before we get to our first segment, one last thing. I love and survivorglamsquad.org is the website,
yes,
correct? You guys use like really great holistic products. They're pesticide free, and they're non-toxic, and they're plant-based. Like that obviously makes sense. We don't want to put the crap back into our body that we're finally getting rid of. Was that an obvious decision when you got into this, or did you? I mean, coming from Europe, everything over there is plant-based and toxic-free. Right. We're the only country that gives you cancer from like lipstick.
Yeah, actually, doing my first event, I really knew nothing about. I was a McDonald's junkie, and I never really thought about any of that stuff. And I did come to America and notice a little bit of difference in the diet and how that affected me.
Yeah.
But going along with the organization and seeing it grow, I've learned so much from everybody that I've interacted with. And it is just recently becoming aware of what you put on and inside your body, yep, and just being a little bit conscious of it. We connected with a company in New Jersey, Alfrazel. They donate non-toxic products, skincare products. The founder, Dale, she had a skin disease, and she developed her own skin line, and she managed to completely eliminate that issue.
Right.
Yeah.
It goes like, what the hell is in my mascara?
Mm-hmm.
That should be the hashtag for the show tonight.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I can't thank you for stopping by. Well, you're going to be here. You're going to listen to the show, chime in whenever you want. I mean, a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about resonates around quality of life and just feeling empowered. Cancer can really, it's easy to say it can be a downer, but, it's amazing that we have groups like yours there, and we're proud to be partnering with you.
Thank you.
So enjoy the show as you're sitting there. Let's get to our first guest, Kenny. In our spotlight, Kaitlyn Keely is a young Chicago artist who had surgery for a brain tumor a year ago. She's found reasons to smile in spite of a challenging recovery, and she encourages others to maintain or regain a positive attitude in the face of health problems. It's going to be a great interview. Please welcome to the Stupid Cancer Show, Kaitlyn Keely. Kaitlyn.
Hi.
So excited to finally get you on the air.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's great. We don't do enough shows that bring up the conversation around brain tumors and malignancies and benign tumors, and that they're kind of all the same. And I had malignant and we have benign. It's a fascinating conversation that a lot of people tend to think they're part of a stigma that doesn't exist.
No, yes, that's very true. Because even from like my mom's point of view of being a caregiver, and she's also noticed that there's a huge stigma behind benign and malignant tumors in general. And a lot of people think that it's just, it's benign, so you're okay, you're fine. They could just go in there and cut it out, but that's not true at all. It's a lot more complicated, and that's why I wanted to come on and tell my story with you guys.
No, and I'm reading here that you are preemie. I have preemies. I have twins. They were born 34 weeks. How preemie were you?
I was at 23 weeks, so
wow.
literally to the day of being 3 months premature.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look at you. Here you are. Your parents must be thrilled.
Yeah. Definitely.
So how old were you when you had the brain tumor? You said it was about a year ago, but how old were you a year ago? I was first diagnosed 4 years ago when I was 21. Okay.
That's when they first discovered it, like about a week after my birthday. And then I only had a very simple surgery to fix the hydrocephalus.
Sure.
That I developed. Because at the time, the neurosurgeon at the University of Iowa was like, I don't want to remove it because we're not too sure. It's about the size of a golf ball. So at that time, but it wasn't until it'll be a year, this upcoming February, the end of February will be a year, I had actual tumor brain surgery removed.
So leading up to the actual diagnosis 4 years ago, you had, I guess, like standard symptoms? Were you having seizures or nausea or peripheral vision issues?
No, I generally have had no symptoms my entire life. I did have really bad, I think it's bad balance in a way sometimes. I'm a dancer. I've danced my whole life, but I've always had wobbly balance every so often. So that's primarily the only symptom, but it literally generally just happened on my 21st birthday. I woke up extremely sick, could not keep any water or anything down, a really bad headache. And so I was actually at school away in college. I called my mom. I was like, I don't know what to do. Do I have the flu? She asked me if I was stressed. Sitting on my dorm room floor, doing stress relief exercises. So yeah, I honestly just popped up on my 21st birthday. I guess it just got big enough where it blocked my third ventricle. And so I was, there was no like fluid leaving the brain. But yeah, so yeah, it just popped up, I would say. But it's something I was actually born with.
Wow.
I've had.
What was the name of it? Did they give it a name? Not like Joan or Bob or Steve, but like biologically.
No, yeah. It actually, the funny thing is, it actually has two names. It the first name it goes by is called Lemaitre-Duclos disease, and then the second name it's also called dysplastic gangliocytoma of the cerebellum.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of syllables there.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's a very rare benign brain tumor of the cerebellum, and it generally appears in your early adulthood. I've generally been connected to two other people through social media, and they've actually been diagnosed with the same exact brain tumor, but later in life, in comparison to me.
So let's talk about life before and after then. So after your surgery, which is the big kahuna, they go in your brain. I know this. I've been there. Are you different? Are you better? How are you coping? What would you say your biggest challenges are right now?
I would say the biggest challenge for me, at least, I don't know if it's to do with the brain surgery, but then also I have been diagnosed with epilepsy as well. So I have seizures, and so I've a little bit more slow to respond to people, or processing is a lot slower as well. I'm trying to think what else. Just generally been a little bit shaky as well. I have these they look like sort of like ticks in a way, like my body's constantly moving. But over in comparison to before and after, I'm trying to get back my sort of momentum, because when I was first diagnosed, it did really shake me. It sort of knocked my confidence out. I was going to school to be, I was going to college for a bachelor's degree in art, and I was doing all this art that was very emotional and very powerful in a way, very visual, and then I just completely lost it, and so I'm trying to get that back and trying to get that sort of momentum and help others through my story and through my art, because that's what I really love to do, is be creative and artistic.
So would you consider those your anchors, dancing and your artist, photographer, speaker? Look, is that your anchor? Is that how you stay grounded, keeping to your art?
Yeah, I definitely, I would say that's how for me at least, that's how I've stayed grounded, and I believe for me, that has really helped me to be positive and to definitely see I like to see the light in the journey with my brain tumor, because I definitely see my brain tumor as a journey, and I've expressed this to many people that I don't see it as a diagnosis. I see it as a journey. I get to tell my story and express my feelings, my thoughts through a visual standpoint, whether it's in my photography or painting or whatever, because I really like art in general, through anything to acting to fine arts. Yeah, it definitely has really helped because I might also, on the side note, I'm also dyslexic as well. So when I've found things to be hard in general, I draw things out. I figure things out in more of a visual sense, and that's how I see my life. I see my life as an art piece, and it's constantly being worked on. So yeah.
Well, that's incredibly inspiring. We got about 2 minutes left for the interview, but I want to make sure people know that you're on Twitter. What is your handle on Twitter?
It's Keely Creative.
So Keely Creative.
Yeah.
Great. At Keely Creative. And do you blog? Are you on Medium? How can people read what you're writing or see your work?
Yeah, I have I do have a blog. It's Kaitlyn's Life 101. And then I also have a Facebook page also called Keely Creative.
Well, that's wonderful. Look, your story is so important, and I don't think there's enough attention put to life after cancer or life after tumor. And I don't know if you've seen our manifesto, but from the day I started this organization, it is in our DNA that benign tumors can be just as devastating as malignant ones. And everybody is equal, and the playing field is leveled when you're not 80 with cancer.
And that's actually through my own story. That's why I'm actually writing a children's book and illustrating as well about brain tumors and telling a story through a child's point of view of having a brain tumor. It's going to be titled, I Have an Extra Little Sparkle in My Brain.
I like it. We'll have to get you back on when it's published.
Yes. I'm trying to get myself motivated and pushed to get it done.
Well, Kaitlyn, thank you for being strong, for being amazing, and hopefully we'll see you in Chicago when the road trip comes through this April.
Yes, I would love that.
All right, well, we'll be in touch. Good luck, and thank you for joining us on the Stupid Cancer Show.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, Kaitlyn Keely, everyone. All right, Kenny.
Bye.
And now the news.
Hello, I'm Kent Brockman, and this is Eye on Cancer.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Head on over to events.stupidcancer.org. That's events.stupidcancer.org. Sign up for meetup alerts and never miss an event again. If you'd like to host a meetup and learn more, visit stupidcancer.org/meetup. All right, Matthew, we've got some meetups happening. We have Wheat Ridge, Colorado, San Diego, California, and Anchorage, Alaska.
No one should face cancer alone because isolation sucks. Download Instapeer for iPhone, iPad, and Android. Create your account and instantly start chatting with someone just like you who's been there and walked in your shoes. Join our community of thousands of cancer patients, survivors, and caregivers right now on your mobile device. Instapeer.
We launched a newsfeed aggregator on Tumblr for all the articles, blogs, and stories we couldn't possibly have the time to post on social media. Check out what we're reading 24/7 and don't miss a beat. Subscribe at stupidcancer.org/feed.
For young adults, clinical trials are a red-hot mess. So, we at Stupid Cancer are throwing our hat in the ring to make some sense of the madness. Introducing I Am Not a Trial. Real young adults, real faces, and real stories plucked straight from our own community. To learn more and watch the entire video library series, go to IamNotATrial.com.
Support our programs and services by heading over to stupidcancerstore.org. You'll feel great and look great in your new Stupid Cancer gear. That's stupidcancerstore.org. Be proud, wear Stupid Cancer, and that is your Stupid Cancer News.
All right, in our main segment here, David and Annie Iturrino have been together for 5 years, married for 2. They own Mount Dora Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy located in Eustis, Florida. Annie is currently in the midst of her own cancer journey as they work together to provide support to others and to stay on the mats and train. Please welcome to the Stupid Cancer Show, David and Annie Iturrino. Hello.
How are you, sir?
Good. Annie, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Great. Was very inspired when I first heard your story, heard about what you guys are doing down in the Sunshine State. Is that what it's called? I'm really bad at states, but yes, the hot Florida state.
Yes, yes, sir.
And we love to share stories, and we love to give smaller organizations a great stage to share what they're doing and the good work that's going on in your neighborhood. So I think it would be really appropriate to start with Annie, and you are the disease so nice you got it twice, two-time cancer survivor. Why don't you tell us your story?
Yep, back in, it's been roughly, the first go-round was uterine cancer, and that was back in the early 90s. And I was very blessed that they had caught that one quick enough. And then after that, more recently, it's been a year, back in March, I was diagnosed with the so-called, it's the best cancer to have, thyroid cancer, which has really took our lives for a whirl because it's hit us very unexpected, and I went through, and we had 12 weeks of unpaid leave that we were expected. Everybody set us up for this, hey, quick surgery and then radiation, then you'll be good to go, to you're out of work for 12 weeks. So through our organization, that's what's pretty much carried us through.
Yes, I don't you just love when you're told it's the good cancer?
I tell you, I joke around with everybody because we do jiu-jitsu. One of the main tap-out moves is choke out. I want to meet that doctor that says, oh, it's the good cancer, this is the best cancer to get. I want to choke him out for those statements because nobody really truly understands the journey of it, and the fact that we recently had found out that once you take the radiation, you're now at an 86% chance to have a reoccurring cancer in another organ.
Yeah, that whole gift that keeps on giving thing from getting, quote, cured.
Yeah.
Exactly. And David, you've been the caregiver for Annie and now the phenomenal husband of Annie for a while now.
Yes, sir.
What's this been like for you? We often dismiss or forget to acknowledge that caregivers go through their own unique challenges. When all you want to do is to have the person you're caring for feel better, it's hard to care for yourself at the same time.
Yeah, well, you know what? I just she's my sweetheart, and when they said death to his part, I meant it with all my heart. I seen she treats me as well. I have to give it back, and it was my pleasure to do it, and I'll do it again if I have to. That's just who she is, and that's who we are. We love each other unconditionally. We help each other, and and it's in everything, teamwork. It's everything so far. So I really appreciate her as much as our relationship so much.
So Annie, going back, your first cancer was uterine cancer. There are really no symptoms for that until you actually have it, correct? Or what was your experience?
That's correct. I had some typical little female issues in the beginning, and then after a couple checks, they're like, oh, we'll just keep watching it. We'll just keep watching it, nothing to worry about. And then I didn't do as the doctor said, and I end up and I let it go. I was supposed to go every 3 months, and I let it go, I think, 9 months. And within a 6-month time span, it had spread through my uterus and into my fallopian tubes. And I had just had my second daughter at the time, so she was, she's 12 now, so it's been 10 years. So at hearing, 25, 26 years old, and yeah, you can't have any more kids.
Well, yeah, fertility is one of the least discussed national understandings that make cancer in your teens and 20s and 30s different than being 80.
Yes.
So, yeah, and anytime there's a gynecologic cancer, clearly you're dealing with your ovaries, the risk of not being a mom again or at all in the first place is something that probably needs to be discussed up front.
Yeah, and I think that was probably the hardest part for me was, going through this. I never expected it. We didn't have a whole lot of cancer that ran through the family, so when they first went with the first round, and then now with the thyroid cancer, it's crazy. The pills alone, I went from taking a pill pack a day to I now have to take 28 pills a day. And as of right now, that's 28 pills for the rest of my life. Two of those pills, if I stop taking them, I'll die within 2 weeks. They don't tell you any of that up front.
Yeah, that's a nice little hook to keep you into the healthcare system forever.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about, first of all, congratulations. This is a really big deal. We love to have these important stories on every show that we do here at Stupid Cancer. Remind me how we were first connected, because we've done a show a couple of years ago of a dojo in Chicago that provided like free mind, body, and free, I think it was Tai Chi to cancer patients. But it was so interesting that this is a night, and even one of our former guests, who's still here in studio, runs an organization called Survivor Glam Squad, and they give free makeovers to women with breast cancer and all cancers, and even men now with cancers. This quality of life factor is just so unnourished in everyone thinks you're cured, go home, but you guys have made a difference to other people through your work. Talk to us about the program.
Absolutely. We started a Grappling for Life because shortly after I was diagnosed, within a month, we had one of our other students, and I apologize, I have a cold now. One of our other students, her dad was diagnosed with cancer. And she had come in with a check and said, look, this is going to be Victoria's last month. She's not going to be able to afford it any longer. And we're like, okay, what's going on? Talk to us, because we make friends with our students. It's not just a, hey, come pay, you get to train. We're more than that to all of our students. And then the mom had started crying, and we're losing our house, and my husband has cancer, and he's going to die. So at that point, that really struck home for us. And my husband, he looked at her, he goes, I can't let you do this. He ripped up her check and handed it back to her, and he said, we're sponsoring her. And she's like, no, I can't let you do that. And we're like, this is our blessing to you. We can't help you financially because of what we're going through right now, but this is an outlet for you and for your daughter. Just come. So really at that point for us, we said, we got to reach out, because there's more families out there besides the ones that our immediate families that train. There's got to be families who need this support. They need this outlet. And if they can't afford to do it, just come. Come, get on the mats, meet people who truly care about you and want to see you do better, whether it's here at the gym or in life in itself.
So I can only imagine the guilt people have, because no one really wants a handout, but we just want to help. What's been the response you've seen from your community?
It's been kind of slow at first, but we did a women's seminar, a women's-only seminar about 3 weeks ago. One of the girls that came, one of the women, she volunteered. She wanted to say a prayer at the end of the session. We're like, okay, cool, no problem. She said the way she felt when she came in the door, that there's something here, there's an aura about this place that is just going to take off. And within the last 2 weeks, we've probably had at least 15 people that have come and said, hey, can I train? Or members who have joined.
Well, that's remarkable.
Yes, it's huge. And we've reached out to 2 of the local schools and asked the local schools, give us 10 kids, give our information to 10 kids that you feel need it, whether they are being bullied, they're the bully, or that their family's going through some kind of medical or financial struggle. Send them to us just so they have an outlet.
Well, the martial arts have such a key mental component to them, the mind-body. Not that I've done this, but I'm basically Wikipedia-ifying myself from what I've seen and read. And are you noticing that people are leaving after their sessions like calmer, happier? Are you following? Are they coming back?
Actually, yeah. Here, I'll answer that. It's gotten a lot. I had a few that were troubled kids, and they were kind of a bully. Now they're yes sir, no sir, and they're saying, man, this is not the same person no more. They act different. So yes, we do. I mean, I've seen a difference, and I actually talk to the parents afterwards. I'll say, how are they doing? What can I do better? So after basically every class, I kind of say an additional maybe half an hour more, and I actually I try to talk to each and every person. And if they want to talk, it's, I never turn anyone down. They want to talk. I mean, I'm not like Montel Williams, but I'm willing to, hear someone and show them that this academy does care. And this is not about money. This is about loving one another. That's That's how I see it. Because when I was growing up, I didn't have money to train. I had to do like clean the academy, help do this, do that to do it, and I want to change my county. I want to change one person at a time, one family at a time, and that's what I want to do. I want to make a difference, and you can make a difference. Just it's one person at a time.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
David, is your background in the martial arts? Are you a sensei?
Yes, I actually am. I've been training martial arts since I was 4, and I'm 39 now. And I have a 5th degree black belt in karate, and I'm actually Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. But this is my passion.
Wow.
I love to do it. Yes, sir.
And Annie, you're following in David's footsteps. I'm reading you're a purple belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir. Our daughter did karate for a long time in the competition scene, and I never really got into the karate. But then when I met David, we started hanging out, and I'm like, I don't want to do the jiu-jitsu. I just want to hit the bags. I want to do some kickboxing. And then finally I said, I'm a runner. I run every day. I run 3 miles. Your class is nothing. I got your class. And I took his class, and I was wiped out. And at that moment, I fell in love with jiu-jitsu, and every day I'm like, hey, babe, can we roll? Hey, babe, can we roll? Even after my surgery, the first question I asked the doctor, when can I get on the mat? And she's like, well, tell me about this. I said, well, it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I didn't even get Brazilian jiu-jitsu out, and my doctor was saying no.
Right, of course.
So,
of course.
But it's become our life. Our girls train, we both train, and we love it. It's the atmosphere and the people that we meet, and just spending time with people is what makes it worth it.
So Annie, let me ask you then: is being this skilled in the martial arts a good sort of a steam valve release to the daily rigors of just managing your thyroid cancer?
Absolutely. At this point, I'm still going through the process of. One thing we never understood with thyroid cancer is that, and I think one of the doctors that we met with kind of connected the dots for us, is the thyroid is the carburetor to your car. Without it, your car's not going to run. And that's where this little pill is supposed to work in. And for me, trying to find the energy and the balance, because I work a full-time job, plus I do this, is very hard. And I still have not found the balance, but when I come to the gym and I see these kids and they smile and they tell me they're happy to see me, it lights up my life. And that's where I get my drive. And for my husband, for everything that he did for me when I was going through the surgery and having the girls there, they look up to me. I'm like, I can't quit. I love this. I don't want to let them down. As much as they did for me, I can't let them down.
If you don't mind, I'd like to take the rest of the interview, we got about 5 minutes left, to talk about your kids. Children of young adults facing cancer are often... What do you say to them? How do you talk to them? Different ages or different engagements. And my kids are 5. I was in college when I was 6, so I didn't have to have this discussion. But you had 2 existing children when you were diagnosed, and you've been living with this and going through this. This has been your life. How have they been handling this?
Well, it was pretty hard. So our oldest is 16, and our youngest is 11. She'll be 12 in like a week. She's giving me that look. No, nice. Mom, I'm almost 12. They faced cancer with older grandparents, stuff like that. So when they immediately heard cancer, they immediately thought death. And then, so that was that first initial step. Well, are you going to die, Mom? And I'm like, no, of course not. We're not going to die. But coming to the sense of having to walk to your child and say, hey, we got to talk about something, and to have to look them in the face and say, hey, we got to struggle, we got to get through, and this is cancer, and this is what we're going to do. I would say we don't believe in hiding anything from them, so we were upfront from the very beginning. And the hardest part was during the radiation. It's a different kind of radiation than regular radiation. We take this magic bullet that they say, and the minute you take that magic bullet, you can't be around anybody for 7 days. So having to say goodbye to them was probably the hardest. And then when they came home to see me, it wipes you out. It makes you really, really sick. And they walk in, and you could see the look on their face when they saw me. They knew I was really sick at that point. But we're open. We talk. So any fears, anything, any questions, we just ask them. And then the one thing that we always did is their bedroom door, they have this little chalkboard on it. And we would leave little notes back and forth, and one of the notes said, "My mommy's a fighter. She's going to beat cancer." So it was little motivational things we would do back and forth.
Well, that's really important. Again, it goes back to when you're not 80 and you have children, how do you deal with this, and where do you find even the strength or the peer support or the wherewithal to know what have other people done? I guess the next question is obvious. Are your children into the martial arts, or do they have no choice?
Absolutely. They do have a choice. And we stress to them at the point that if they're bored with it and they're tired of it and they don't want to do it, they don't have to. But the fact that I can look at our kids in the face and know that if they were to ever get approached by a man or somebody, they can protect themselves. We put our 16-year-old against the men in the class, and she holds her own.
Wow.
And as a mom, I'm going, thank you, Lord. This is a good thing. And for, Kaitlyn, she's almost 12, we put her against the boys. Because when she goes to the tournaments, she may face boys, she may face girls, but they're tough. And this was their outlet and their way to deal with the cancer indirectly. If they didn't feel comfortable talking, they could go punch the bags and get the release. I see the girl that we talked about in the beginning, when her dad passed away, he passed away 2 days before Christmas. And her mom's like, I need to bring her. Absolutely, get her here. We let her go to the bags, and she hit the bags for 30 minutes, and she started smiling, and you could see she needed that release.
So important. Really, really important. Final question then. Where or have you at all found other women or other married couples who've been through similar experiences? Have you found your peers online or at events since then? Or have you been able to has anyone reached out to you to ask you how did you get through it?
I found a couple links or Facebook pages of thyroid cancer specific. Sometimes you see some stuff that you can lean off of, but I haven't really had anybody reach out to us directly. We have at our facility here, we've had people who've reached out and said, how did you guys get through this? How do you guys handle going through this being a newly married couple and the challenges that you've faced? But as far as the actual thyroid cancer itself, not specific to the thyroid cancer.
I just figured I'd ask. We like to know how people get through it, and we like to say get busy living, which you clearly are by beating the snot out of things, which I envy, which is great.
Absolutely. We truly appreciate you. I know you guys saw the video and the documentary that David did for Grappling for Life, and I can say for me, David was, like you kind of mentioned in the beginning, the caretakers are forgotten a lot about, and their feelings aren't taken into account. And David was my rock through that whole entire thing. And there's not a moment that he, left me by my side. He was in every single one of my appointments, and if it wasn't for him and the girls, I'd be lost.
Well, David, you hear that? You have someone likes you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think I'm the one that's lucky.
Well, very cool. I'm so happy to have you guys on the show. The website is grapplingforlife.org. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Grapplingforlife.org. If you live in, where are you, Southern Florida? I don't know Florida. Lake County, Florida. Is that?
Yes, Lake County, Florida.
Give an ignorant Manhattanite, a general. Are you near Disney or are you near Miami? That's all I know.
If you were in Orlando, we're 20 minutes north of Orlando, and I'll even say anyone that comes to the state of Florida and just wants to train one class or wants to do a self-defense class, our doors are open, and that's for anyone.
Well, fantastic. David and Annie Iturrino from Grappling for Life, thank you so much. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
You guys.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Keely, what do you think? Not only did you sit in on the show and make your friends and work people, you have a special shout-out. You got to make a shout-out.
Yes, Tina Wizzy.
There you go.
My beautiful friend.
And the world as well. Yes. So what do you think? This is the podcast.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing to hear, the different stories of, what people go through and the strength. It's all about the strength.
So, I mean, it speaks to how, the word cure gets thrown around all the time. And the only people that really think that matters are people that don't, thankfully, are out of the bubble. and we're in the bubble, and we don't really need cure in the same sense. We want to be well, but what does well really mean? So you guys do great work at Survivor Glam Squad. I'm very excited to see what you guys can come up with in Denver with our attendees.
We've recharged our batteries from last year, and we're ready to get our glam on.
It's going to be wonderful. SurvivorGlamSquad.org. Any final comments from the Peanut Gallery?
I'm already on the beach.
Yep, Kenny's on his way to Aruba. All right. Well, with that said, it is now. Oh wait, CancerCon.
Oh,
that thing, that giant event we just mentioned.
That thing that's happening in like 75 days.
Nearly sold out. CancerCon.org. Tweet chat tomorrow night at 9 p.m. 9:30 p.m.
9:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Hashtag CancerCon.
Yes.
All that good stuff. All right. Well, it is now time for our closing sequence.
Prepare to activate.
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
And so, to all of you, a fond farewell.
Hooray! I'm helping.
You are a meathead. Oh, Magoo, you've done it again.
That was so terrible, I think you gave me cancer.
Okay, folks, that's our show. The 374th episode of The Stupid Cancer Show. Never miss an episode by subscribing to the podcast on iTunes and following us on SoundCloud.
I'd like to thank our guests, Kaitlyn Keely, David and Annie Iturrino, and the lovely and talented Keely Webster from Survivor Glam Squad joining us in studio. Broadcasting since 2007, The Stupid Cancer Show is a production of Stupid Cancer, the largest charity comprehensively addressing young adult cancer online at stupidcancer.org. Coming to you from the chemo deck, and on behalf of my team here at The Stupid Cancer Show, we hope you had as much fun as we did poking a stick at Stupid Cancer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you back here on the next exciting podcast of The Stupid Cancer Show. Goodbye, folks.